Meghan Markle's lifestyle brand, as ever, has many customers asking, as if, are you ever going to restock your store shelves? As if, are you ever going to refund me my money for the $28 honey that never arrived? Many experts are calling Meghan Markle's brand a complete and utter failure, with empty store shelves, no restock dates, and now a brand new bombshell from Meghan Markle about the future of her brand. Is Meghan Markle's as ever DOA, and is it as never going to be restocked? You guys, we have a lot of juicy royal daily tea to get through today, so you know what to do. Sit back and relax, grab yourself a beverage, and let's get into the royal daily tea. So Meghan Markle has apparently never heard of the phrase, strike while the iron is hot. Because Meghan Markle, y'all, she's a one and done type of gal. 45 minutes and she gone. She's done, guys. She's done it. She is the best entrepreneur there's ever been. She even sat down for the Time 100 and gave a speech on how successful she is, how she sold out her products in 45 minutes to a room full of very underwhelmed people. Meghan Markle thinks that she's the only person who's ever started a business and who's ever sold out her products. She literally felt like she was teaching a master class on entrepreneurship, let alone has a business podcast called Confessions of a Female Founder, more like Flounder. No wonder that podcast has flopped off the top 200 for Apple and Spotify podcast. So Meghan Markle, y'all, she is like an enigma. Literally, we need to study this woman. What the hell is going on in your brain? What the hell is happening over there at your company? Now, we know Meghan Markle doesn't have an original thought in her body. She's pretty much banking on the fact that she's a celebrity and she's a royal duchess, and therefore people are just going to buy from her name alone. Now that is the problem, because Meghan Markle has an identity crisis. First of all, she can't even make up her mind what she wants people to call her. She has a branding identity issue with herself. She doesn't even know what to call herself. Is she Meghan Markle? Is she Meghan the Duchess of Sussex? Is she Meghan Sussex? Is she just Meghan? And of course, she now likes to tell everyone, I'm a mom. She's the tooth fairy. She's an entrepreneur. She's a dolphin investor. She's a podcaster. The poor woman, she's just doing too much. She's such a martyr. So Meghan Markle not only has a identity crisis with herself, but she has a major branding identity crisis. First it was American Riviera Orchard, RIP. Then it became As Ever. Her cooking show is With Love, Meghan. She's even gone through 2 rebrands for her podcast, Archetypes and now Confessions of a Female Founder. This woman literally cannot make up her mind. And she has a whole team of people who are standing around who don't know their left from their right. Can you imagine trying to lead this woman in any creative project? So it's no wonder she's having a problem. Now, we have talked about Meghan Markle literally could be the poster child for what not to do when starting a business. Now, we all know I have a business background. I have an MBA. I've run several businesses. I've done business consulting. So when I tell you, I am astonished at how bad her business has crashed and burned. I'm not kidding. I have never seen someone of her stature, her fame, her fortune crash and burn so bad. So she takes an entire year to finally launch her product after a rebranding name due to a trademark hiccup. Never got the trademark, so she rebrands it, calls it As Ever, partners with Netflix, and we'll get into that in a minute, launches her product, and within an hour turns off the switch, and she's done. One and done, folks. It's over. The fat lady has sung, and Meghan Markle has declared herself a success. Now, 7 weeks later, you go to her website, and there are tumbleweeds blowing through her website where it still says sold out. There's only one product, her raspberry sludge, which says coming soon. And it's been like that for 7 weeks. Now, when you sell out of a product, the first thing you're going to want to do is restock that item immediately. Victoria Beckham sold out of that olive pantsuit that Catherine, the Princess of Wales, wore. She had restocked it twice in like a week because it was selling out. So she obviously knew, ding, 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 we have a winner, folks. Let's go where the money is and let's restock that suit. So Meghan Markle, we know that she's running a novelty shop. It's a gift shop type of thing. She's calling it limited seasonal items. Well, limited for an hour? I mean, that's pretty limited, lady. Like, we think maybe a couple of weeks, a couple of months. You're going to have, products for the seasons, for the holidays. Not an hour. That's real limited. How are you going to make any money by only offering your products for like an hour and then poof, we're turning off the switch, folks, and we're not restocking? Now, there's something fishy going on here, folks, because let's give her the benefit of the doubt. If, let's say, 10,000 people, 5,000 people flooded her server in that 1 hour to purchase her products, the server would have crashed. But it didn't. Instead, it was just sold out, folks, in a blink of an eye. Many people who thought they bought the honey, paid for it, it was in their shopping cart, found out later there was a clerical error with the server, with the shopping cart, with the company who was fulfilling the orders, Snow Commerce, who has the worst reputation in town and is known for selling products that don't exist. Imagine that. I'm sure that's just a coinky-dink. Surely. Anyways, Snow Commerce, who has a 1 rating in the BBB Business Bureau, people are very angry with this company. Again, Meghan Markle, you picked a winner, is known for fleecing their customers. Well, all of a sudden, all those people who spent that $28 honey didn't get the honey, nor the refund. There were people who just got an IOU at some date. When we restock or resell it, I'm going to ship you something special. Real special, y'all. I'm gonna put it together. It's gonna be real nice, and I'm just gonna ship it out to y'all with my calligraphy writing. Love, Meghan. Seriously, that is not a way to run a business, okay? There are some people who wanted a refund, and they were told, we can't find your order in the system, so therefore, your order doesn't exist, therefore, you're not getting a refund. Yeah. I'm waiting for the class action lawsuit. I'm waiting. I'm surprised there isn't one, honestly. So Meghan has a whole bunch of IOUs, shuts off the website, and that's it. And she puts out a whole bunch of posts of her on her Instagram that has nothing to do with her product. Now, if you're running a business, you want your customers to constantly see you, hear you, and know what's going on with your business. You should tell people, hey, we'll be restocking by the end of the week. We're so sorry. Something, a newsletter, something on social media, email, nothing. So for 7 weeks, you saw Meghan Markle prancing around telling the world, I sold out in 45 minutes. Then she sits there and proceeds to tease her customers over the products they can't get. constantly showing you making the jam in the kitchen, going to the beehive with Lily. Oh, look, we're pouring our fresh honey over here over some honeycombs. Too bad you can't get the honey, but we're going to make you watch us make honey in our kitchen. Like, is she trying to pretend that she's actually hand making the jam and the honey for the customers, that she's a hard-working mama, hard-working entrepreneur in the kitchen? Literally the worst PR campaign imaginable, right? She even went to the Time 100 and sat there telling people, look at me. Don't you want to be like me? Don't you wish you could sell out of your 10 products in 45 minutes like me? You could tell the people in the audience were not feeling her. They were looking at her like, who the hell is this woman who literally sells out in 45 minutes? We have no idea how many units she actually sold, and I guarantee you it wasn't a lot. So now Meghan Markle has sat down for an interview with a magazine called Fast Company, where she's bragging once again about her pioneering partnership with Netflix. So here's the other piece of the puzzle that we're going to get into, folks, because it's kind of weird if you ask me. So Meghan Markle, y'all, feels that she is at the pinnacle of success. So she sat down with Fast Company and did an interview, again, bragging about her pioneering partnership with Netflix, because she feels she's a pioneer in the entrepreneurial space with Netflix. Even though Netflix has been doing this new online retail store for quite a while, Meghan feels like she's the first. But in this article, it was very eye-opening, some of the doozies and the bombshells that Meghan Markle let drop. Now, we've all already seen it. The writing's on the wall. We've already known how this woman operates. Let's backtrack a little. We've known that this woman is a walking disaster. She is not an entrepreneur. She's got a huge team of people around her, yet the woman can't do anything correctly. She can't even leave the house with an ironed outfit. So are we expecting too much from Meghan Markle? The woman can't iron her pants. But I digress. So Meghan has spent over a year carefully crafting her lifestyle brand, where jam is her jam, yet she couldn't even produce jam. Instead, she came out with a raspberry sludge consistency of a sauce. Again, that's embarrassing. You can't even do the main product. Then she just private labeled a whole bunch of boxed products and gerbil food, which she's calling edible flowers. And then there was a box of crepe mix, cookies, some tea, and of course the honey that many people said tasted like wax. None of these are original. They're not even organic. What the hell took 1 year to come up with these genius products? In my opinion, Meghan Markle should have just came out with one product, jam. But Meghan Markle, when you're starting out as an entrepreneur, do one product and do it well. But Meghan thinks big. I'm a duchess. I'm Meghan Markle. I'm Rachel from Suits. We got to do it big. Meghan Markle doesn't want to learn anything. Again, when she was a royal duchess, she didn't want to learn the protocol. She didn't want to learn the job. She just wanted to get to the good part where she's wearing a tiara or she's wearing designer gowns and everyone's sitting there bowing at her feet. And she's living in a mega mansion. That is what she thought being a royal duchess was, the Instagram version of royalty. But when you really get down to it, they're very frugal, they live on a budget, and they live a life of service. It's not all tiaras and tea cakes. It's a lot of work involved. So Meghan, again, when she went to the entrepreneurial space, She went from 0 to 360. She literally just tried to piggyback and steal ideas from people like Flamingo Estate, Gwyneth Paltrow, the Marchioness of Bath, and of course Pamela Anderson. And then she just slapped her name on it because Meghan Markle doesn't do anything. She doesn't have a creative or original thought in her body. So Meghan Markle came out with American Riviera Orchard, but then we heard rumors that she couldn't find a CEO. She couldn't find financial backers, right? She couldn't even get her trademark off the ground due to elementary embarrassing mistakes like forgetting to pay the full amount, forgetting to sign it. Then she had a lot of problems with other companies pushing back on the name American Riviera Orchard. And after 1 year, she finally had to admit defeat and abandon the trademark. Then she came out with that story. We're going to call it as ever, guys, because it just makes sense. It's me, guys. It's Meghan as ever. And we're like, okay. Well, as of today, she has over 9 trademarks pending for as ever, guys, and they're still not passed. So I believe this could be a reason as to why they are not restocking their shelves, why they're not adding in new products, because they don't have a trademark. And I believe Netflix is being very, very careful with Meghan Markle in this business because they could get sued, you guys. They could get sued. This is very, very bad business practice. And the fact that Netflix is in bed with Meghan Markle, it's like, to quote Oprah Winfrey, what? What the hell did you do? I wonder if Ted Sarantos is beginning to question himself into what the hell he was thinking. So that is why they're sticking with Meghan Markle, is because they kind of have to. They're in bed with her in regards to as ever. And Meghan let it slip in this article that they are her financial backers and she's using their production team. So that is why Meghan Markle was finally able to launch her product for a whole 45 minutes. Because Netflix did the heavy lifting, because Meghan can't do it herself. And if y'all remember my old videos, I told you this is a very, very expensive venture to do. So Meghan Markle let it slip in this article that they're not going to be restocking until the first quarter of 2026 because they need time to gather the data and to find out who and what her customer is and what they want to purchase. Again, this is a woman who has spent an entire year working on this product. Shouldn't you have that information already? Shouldn't you know who you are as a brand and who your customer is? That is one of the very first things you do in business, is you find out who your customer is. You have to first find out who you are, what you are, and what you provide. And then after you have that, you'll know who your customer is. But Meghan cannot figure out what she wants people to call her, let alone who she is, what is her brand, besides, I'm Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, come give me your money. Again, I have told y'all before that her only customers are her sugar fan base, because nobody else in their right mind is going to go out and spend $28 for honey or for some raspberry drudge that they can just simply get at the grocery store. But even if they wanted to buy it from her, they can't, because the woman has not restocked her shelves in almost 2 months. So let's read really quickly what Miss Markle had to say. Meghan says that she had been exploring various ways of launching a business when Bella Bellaria, from Netflix Chief Content Officer, approached her. At the time, I had been working toward building out my own in-house team. Remember, she couldn't get a CEO, let alone any real people to help her launch her business. but I had a complete U-turn because I completely bought into the vision she was sharing, which is where content and commerce meet, not in a product placement way, but rather in an ideological way. Now, Netflix has their Netflix houses where they sell merchandise for their hit shows like Bridgerton or Squid Games, which of course is very, very smart. Netflix has gotten into the retail space. So of course, with Meghan Markle having a cooking show, bringing her on board with items from her cooking show is obviously a very logical step. So the article went on to say, in many ways, this is a pioneering partnership for Netflix. Along with Meghan, the Netflix team decided it made sense for As Ever to exist on its own without any Netflix branding. That is why the line isn't called With Love, Meghan, like the cooking show. To me, that makes zero sense. The brand is in the same universe as the show, but they're not the same, Meghan says, because nothing ever makes sense, Meghan. Meghan also points out that Netflix is not just the financial backer. The company's consumer packaged goods team works closely with Meghan's team to manufacture the products. Now, this is when you can tell she really doesn't know what she's talking about, that she really doesn't do anything, because she's using some big words, y'all. She said, quote, "We're on calls daily, working through product development, SKUs, and inventory," she says. And then this is the most hilarious part. She sounds like a child who just got her permission slip signed by her daddy, and she's going on a field trip in a little yellow bus. It says, "We have a field trip tomorrow to look at different manufacturers and suppliers as we expand the brand." Really? I mean, you've had a year, Meghan. You're just now doing this with Netflix after the cooking show and before the second season. You sold out in 45 minutes. You're not restocking anything because you want to look at the data that you collected in 45 minutes. Really? A spreadsheet that told you how many you sold? What else you need to know, Meghan? To me, and looking at SKUs and inventory, yeah, it's called zero, Meghan. You have no inventory. It's not hard. It's zero. Are the tumbleweeds blurring your eyes? What the hell? SKUs. Like, does she know what a SKU is? It's just the barcode. What are you physically coming up with your own little numbers of SKUs, Meghan? Are you the one making that decision? You have an entire team, a product development team. I think they can handle the SKUs and the inventory without Meghan Markle on the call. Are they just including her to make her feel important? But you guys, Meghan Markle doesn't know her left from her right. She has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with any of what she just said here. She's trying to make herself sound very important. Just when she was on the Jamie Kern Lima show, and she's like, "I like hard work. I love hard work. I mean, we have to talk about the social media postings and the cadence and this and that." And I'm like, you don't do any of that. That's an entire team. Those are buzzwords that someone on her team used around her, and now Meghan Markle uses to tell people she's worried about the cadence, the tone of her social media post, and posing for the pictures and selecting the pictures. And oh my God, Meghan. Like, that's what the woman spends her day doing. If you looked at her Pinterest, Instagram page. Now it says, when it comes to As Ever, it was a runaway success. Yeah, I think that's a little bit of an exaggeration. Meghan says that even though the team spent a year preparing the line and forecasting demand, all the products on the site sold out in 45 minutes. Now they're trying to plan As Ever's next phase. It's called replenish your stock, Meghan. Give people what they paid for, Meghan. The easiest thing to do would be to endlessly restock the popular products. Yeah, it's called running a business that makes a profit, which would likely sell out very quickly again. But while the As Ever team has hinted, did they hint online that the items will be back on sale soon? Well, what is soon? Is that Christmas time that we're talking about, Meghan? Meghan also wants to take a step back to gather data from the launch. Again, it was a 45-minute launch, Megan. How much data did you really collect during that time frame? I can tell you it's a spreadsheet that they sent out from Shopify. It will tell you all the data in about 5 minutes. It doesn't take months to look at that information. Good Lord. She says she's planning to announce new products the first quarter of 2025. Now, we all know it's probably going to be that white planter that she has a little picture of with her little logo slapped on it. It's going to be home goods, something that centers around hosting. Again, Megan, why didn't you just come out with hosting products instead of this stupid boxed cookies and edible flowers and raspberry sludge? Why didn't you just come out with home goods in the beginning? She makes 0 sense, and now she doesn't even know when or if she's going to restock, because heaven forbid she has to restock it again and restock it again. I mean, oh my God. Entrepreneurs, gosh, that's just so annoying when your products sell out and you have to restock them. We don't want to do that, guys. We don't want to keep having to do that. Said no one ever. She makes no sense, guys. I don't know what this woman expected. Did she think she was going to make $1 million in an hour and she's one and done? I have no clue. And then it says there are some clues about what new items might be in the pipeline. Again, nobody cares. They want to know what happened to the raspberry sludge that you've been promoting that got shut off in an hour. That's been sitting there for 7 weeks with a coming soon sign. So as far as striking while the iron is hot, I would say it's ice cold. And this has got to be the most embarrassing, disastrous product launch I have ever seen. And the fact that Netflix is involved with her, yikes. I really hope they have a good legal department. So you guys, there is so much more to cover in this article. We're going to talk about it in another video. But you guys, this is really bad. The fact that the woman took a year, had to do a name change, had trademark problems, still doesn't have a trademark, and doesn't want to have to constantly restock. Are you kidding me? Like I said, Victoria Beckham restocked 3 times. She didn't mind making all of that money because she's a smart businesswoman. What do y'all think about As Ever? Do you think she's going to restock her raspberry drudge just in time for the Christmas season, or perhaps 1 or 2 times before the end of the year? What do y'all think about her future announcements of products that are coming out possibly in 2026? Leave me your comments, guys, down below. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you and hope to see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.